Hi, so today we're going to do the YMCA submaximal cycle ergometer test. This is going to find your estimated VO2 max. This is really important to find your cardiovascular fitness as part of our whole health assessment. There are some risks involved with this. We're going to prevent some of those by having a proper warm-up to get the blood flowing to your muscles to prevent any injury, and there are some risks of possibly fainting or something. However, this is submaximal, so we're only going to go to 85% of your heart rate, so your rate of perceived exhaustion shouldn't be too high. The test is going to involve you going on the bike. You're going to be going at 50 revs per minute, and we're going to see how well your cardiovascular health is. And some benefits of this test: we're going to be able to find your VO2 max estimated, and then we can create an exercise program based off of it. So I'm going to have you come over here. We're going to make sure this is set up properly. I'll have you put your hip next to the bike, so that should be about the right height for you. And then we're going to get on in a minute. And your responsibilities are going to be to give your best effort and just follow the instructions, and you'll be all right. I have my data sheet ready over here when we're ready. The equipment's all ready, and so your heart rate, so based off your age, since you're 21 years old, I multiplied that by 0.7 and subtracted that from 207 to find your maximum heart rate, and then I multiplied that by 0.85 to get your 85% is 163 beats per minute. Okay. So let's get to it.
Is my warm-up?
Yeah. Now that you're finishing up your 3 minutes of your warm-up, I'll explain to you what we're going to do throughout the test. So you're going to keep at 50 revs per minute the whole time. And then at the end of each stage, which are 3 minutes long each, I'm going to figure out your heart rate from the heart rate monitor we put on earlier, and then your blood pressure also. Based on your heart rate level, we're going to decide if we need to bump up the watts in order to get to that 85%, or if we need to stay the same. And then once you get to your 163 beats per minute, we're going to terminate the test. So I just need you to stay at the 50 revs per minute the whole time. And then occasionally I'm going to ask you your RPE, which decides how exerted you are at the moment, and I just need you to give me a fair estimate. And then we'll figure out your VO2 max. Alright, now that we're 2 minutes into the test, I'm going to find your heart rate. And it's about 92 beats per minute. And then I'm also going to find your blood pressure. Alright, just keep pedaling. Alright, it's about 129/80, and then I'm going to find your heart rate again. 94 beats per minute, pretty similar. And then could you tell me, based on the RPE scale, what number you're at?
About like an 8 or a 9.
Alright, sounds good. Alright, now we're concluding the second stage of the test. We're at 5 minutes, so I'm going to find your heart rate. And it's about 111 right now. And then your blood pressure once again. Okay, and that was about 132/80, and then your heart rate once again, 114. And in this stage, we went up to 75 watts, since in the last stage you were only at 94 beats per minute. So now we're at 75, and I think we're going to stay at 75 for the next one. Could you tell me your RPE?
13.
13, all right, somewhat hard, looks good. We're going to go into one more round at least. Alright, now we're concluding the third stage of this. You've been going for 8 minutes. I'm going to find your heart rate. And it looks to be about 160 beats per minute. We're getting pretty up there. I'm going to take your blood pressure once again. 132 over 80. And then your heart rate, it's at 164. So we've reached your 85%, also about your steady state. So I'm gonna have you slow down and we're gonna start a 2-minute cool down. And can you tell me your RPE?
17.
All right, pretty good. So we're at that 85% mark. And then if we look over here, we can see all the data that you've done throughout the whole test. All of your heart rates, blood pressure, and the watts we stayed. So for the first round, we were at 25 watts. And then for the second, we went to 75. And since your heart rate was still continuing to go up, we stayed at 75. And I turned it back down for your recovery, about 25. And now that you've been recovering for about 2 minutes, I'm going to look at your heart rate again. And now it's gone down to 109. So we're actively recovering. This cool down is to prevent any blood pooling. We don't want you to quickly get off after being exhausted because you could quickly faint since blood is rushing to your muscles to recover. So we're going to slowly let yourself relax, and then we'll look at the results in a minute.